I've got bourbon, I've got scotch, and I've got rye. I'm DMC, and welcome to my favorite whiskeys of 2022. Welcome to Prescription Bourbon, everybody. This is my annual favorite whiskeys of this past year, 2022. As always, I'm going to give you my top 3 bourbon picks. And then I also have an honorable mention American whiskey, which is oftentimes a rye, but could be any American whiskey. And last year I added a new category, my favorite world whiskey, which would be something like Scotch, Irish, Japanese, something like that. So, getting right into it, my favorite world whiskey of 2022 is Aberlour Abuna. So, this whiskey I had not had before, and I bought this and was just shocked at how much I liked it. This is a sherry bomb. Definition of sherry bomb. I was lucky enough, this first bottle I bought is actually batch 50, and which I believe batch 50 actually came out back in like 2014, so this guy had been sitting on the shelves for a while. But my normal liquor store I go to that I buy a lot of my scotches and stuff was out of this for a while, and I was wanting to pick up a bottle, so I went looking around at some other smaller shops around town, and I found this sitting on a shelf, dusty on a shelf. Picked up at normal good price and fell in love with it. Definitely made my list, and I've already gone out and bought me a backup bottle that I have not cracked yet, but this is actually up to batch 73 from this past year. So went from batch 50 to batch 73 I've got in the wings. So. But when I say this is a sherry bomb, it's very, very, very fruity on the nose, very fruity on the taste. It's got a lot of dark, deep fruits, raisins, and maybe some cherry, but it's got some good oak on there, and a nice little bit of black pepper spice in there too. So it's got a great amount of spice, great wood influence, and just that that fruity sherry flavor is wonderful. I'd never had this before, and I'm so glad I picked it up. Also, one thing about my list, bottles on my list each year are not necessarily something that came out that year. They are not necessarily something I had never tried before that year. Just mainly they're things that I enjoyed that year. So these are things I enjoyed in 2022, and I found myself going back to over and over again. And generally, finished off at least one bottle, picked up a backup or two. So, this Aberlour Abuna absolutely fits that bill for a world whiskey of the year. It's a wonderful Speyside Scotch, no peat on it, just wonderful maltiness and sherry influence. It does come in at cask strength also. This batch 50 is 59.6% alcohol. And this batch 73 that I have over here is 61.2%. So the proofs vary around. They are cask strength, but they are batched, non-age stated. And I believe if you do the research, they say the barrels are typically between 5 and 25 years of age. Batch size is around the 100 barrel batch, so give or take. So. Definitely going to be some varying ages in there, and the proof's going to be around that 120 mark, plus or minus. So glad I picked this up. It's delicious. Moving on to my honorable mention, favorite American whiskey, non-bourbon, and this year it goes to another rye whiskey. So in this case, it's a Sagamore Spirit Double Oak Rye. So, Sagamore Spirits based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and they're doing some great things there. They are distilling their own whiskey now. I believe they've put out some young, 4-year whiskey that's their own distillate. But they've been warehousing stuff for 7 or 8 years or longer at this point, and their original stock was coming from MGP out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So this is going to be this particular bottle right now is going to be MGP distillate, but aged in Maryland for 4 years, and then they transfer it to a new toasted oak barrel with their own unique wood pattern inside for at least another 12 to 18 months. So this is going to be upwards of between 5 and 6 years old. Comes in at 96.6 proof. So, but this is non-chill filtered, and it's just a delicious rye whiskey. Now, Sagamore. I mean, I've tried their cask strength, and I've tried their sherry finished rye here also, which comes in at 100 proof. So I've tried several of their ryes. They're all delicious, but this double oak just knocked my socks off. This is probably, honestly, my favorite double oaked variety of whiskey that I've had to date. So this, I like this better than Woodford double oak. I like this better than a lot of people like Old Forester 1910. There's lots of double oaks out there, and this is just so nice. It's the oak on it is perfect in my mind. It's got some nuttiness on the nose. It's not a peanut. It's more of a pecan, maybe even like a hazelnut on there. The spice level's perfect, and it's just a delicious sip of rye whiskey. But that oak influence is very nice. So that's my honorable mention for 2022. So moving on to my top 3 bourbons of 2022. Coming in third place is going to be Larceny barrel proof, in particular batch C922 out of Heaven Hill. This comes in at 126.6 proof, and it's a delicious pour. Last year's list I had makers 46 cask strength, or in all the makers special releases and all that were high on my list, just kind of lumped together. And wonderful wheated mash bill line there. And I didn't get this guy till late in the year. This is obviously the C9 batch, which came out after September. I didn't get it till probably November, actually, maybe October. But this has been great. Really have enjoyed it. The Larceny barrel proofs have only been out for a few years now. People have been underwhelmed with them. They're enjoyable, but people haven't been raving about them like the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, which are top-notch bourbons. This is a bourbon. This is a wheated mash bill, and comes in at barrel proof, and it's just so nice. It's got all the classic bourbon flavors. It's got your oak, got your vanilla. The spice on it it's a wheated bourbon, so the spice is not overpowering. It tickles your tongue a little different. Goes down warm, and it's just a nice, enjoyable sip. So these come in. They're about the same price as the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, so they're going to be in that $70 price range, give or take, in the $60 to $70 price range if you're lucky. I know some places they go for more than that, but the only real ding I would have on this is that it's non-age stated. So like the Elijah Craig barrel proofs from Heaven Hill are 12-year age stated. These Larceny's barrel proofs are not age stated, so and they go for about the same price. But it is that wheated mash bill, which is is a little less spicy, a little smoother for some people, and hits different people differently. But so that's my third place bourbon for 2022. My second place bourbon for 2022 is going to be New Riff bourbon. In particular, their single barrel proof releases. I've had I think 4 different pours of this. I've owned 3 different bottles of this year, and I had a pour of another one. And one of them I got at the distillery. A couple of them I bought here locally. But this particular one I hold in my hand is a pick by Treble Bar here in Louisville, and comes in at 101.3 proof. And this one, as well as 2 of the other picks I had, is just overpowering with an orange citrus nose, orange citrus taste. There's a nice spice level, but it's not hot. They're just super enjoyable sips. It's that orange citrus flavor is something I really, really like. I know I've always liked cherry taste on a bourbon, but when I start getting these orange flavors now, I think I enjoy those too. So definitely the fruit flavors, like the sherry on the Scotch, the cherry, orange, all these fruity flavors are definitely nice. So, but yeah, New Riff is doing some great stuff. They do a combination. I know they do a lot of sweet mash. This is actually a sour mash. 4 years and 3 months on this guy, but non-chill filtered and barrel proof. So some great pours. And I know, unfortunately, this is not distributed nationwide yet. I know every year they're getting into more and more states. So hopefully, people can find this New Riff. But they've got some great ryes. They've got some delicious bourbon. So that's my number 2 pick for 2022. And now getting into my number 1 bourbon pick for 2022. It is Woodford Reserve Batch Proof, 118.4 proof. So, these batch proofs have been being released for several years now. This year they came out with a new bottle design right here, which is a very cool looking bottle design. I think it would make a great decanter or something after it's empty. These are released annually, although they do have some other special releases in between. But this is the 2022 batch proof, and it's 118 proof. And last year's, I believe, was either 126 or 128. I think it was actually 128 proof last year. So a lot of people liked it. The proof was the highest they'd ever had for a Woodford, because all your normal Woodfords, standard Woodfords, are down to 90.4 proof. So, but this same mash bill, their mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. So it is a good higher rye mash bill, 18%. But this, I just find, has so many layers of complexity to it. The nose goes on for days. I pick out different aromas every time I pour a glass. I've had a lot of oak on it. It's wonderful oak. I've had some leather. I've had some tobacco. Those aromas just go a long ways. Definitely has some fruitiness. A lot of good cinnamon spice on it. All that I've gotten on the nose, and all that I've gotten on the taste. Also, not on every pour, but the oak and cinnamon, and there's vanilla obviously in there, but there's cherry fruitiness. There is something like tobacco or leather in there too. That borders with the oak sometimes, but this to me is the definition of the bourbon aroma. This is what I would want to smell if anytime somebody gave me a glass, if I could smell this, I would be in heaven. The definition of almost the perfect nose. So, cheers. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, there's some brown sugar right there. Great spiciness on the tongue. Good warmth going down. But that oak is fleeting there. spice lingers around. It's got a nice long finish. In fact, here's where there's some cherry coming in there, so I got the fruit coming. But I was gonna say that oak, if it was oak, actually went right into more of a leather, almost like a fine leather book or something there. So, I mean, it's just the layers. Like I say, they just keep coming off, keep peeling them off, and very complex in my mind. Very enjoyable. It's very subtle, aromas and tastes that I could just, enjoy for a long, long time. Yeah. There's that fruit on the nose too. So wonderful. So this is my number one bourbon, the 2022. These are clearly limited releases once a year. They might still be sitting on some shelves places. Prices are going to vary. List price on this, I believe, is $130 this year. So, it's gone up a little bit from past years. But I got to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Bourbon, a fellow whiskey tuber who has his own bourbon YouTube channel. And, he helped find this for me. I live here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I looked for it for, 2 months after it was released and never saw it, and talked to him, and it was sitting on some shelves up there in the New York area. So, he was able to pick one up for me and get it to me, and, greatly appreciated Ben. Wouldn't have got a hold of it without you. So, it's my bourbon of the year for 2022. If you can find it, and it's in your price range, definitely recommend it. But these are my top three. So we've got larceny barrel proof, we've got new riff single barrel proofs, and we've got the Woodford batch proof. So they're all cask strength bourbons. Super happy with the pickup, and really enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody watching. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. And the best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.